Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Thanks for being with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Wow. So, the Biden-Trump 2020 rematch looks like it's a done deal now. Ron DeSantis dropped out yesterday.
Well, Nikki Haley's still in the race.
Yeah, for now. If she doesn't win New Hampshire, my guess is she drops out too.
Interesting.
She's something like 30 points behind in her home state of South Carolina. So that's probably not good for her. It's good for Trump. But, here was Ron DeSantis' announcement about his campaign.
Greetings from Florida. The warmth of being home is a reminder why I've chosen public service. From joining the United States Navy and serving in Iraq to representing the people in the U.S. Congress and now serving as governor of Florida. And it reminds me why I decided to run for president, to fight for those who have been forgotten in this country. This is America's time for choosing. We can choose to allow a border invasion, or we can choose to stop it. We can choose reckless borrowing and spending, or we can choose to limit government and lower inflation. We can choose political indoctrination, or we can choose classical education. These choices are symptoms of the underlying struggle to ensure that constitutional government can endure.
Let's pause it for a second. Here it doesn't sound like he's about to drop out of the race, right? Sounds like he's making a campaign speech. But he goes on to drop out of the race, like 4 minutes down the road. I don't know if I want to play the whole thing.
You don't want to play the whole thing?
Probably
Oh,
not.
gee. Okay.
Yeah. So he's out. He's out. Ron DeSantis, gone. We lost him. So now it's down to Donald Trump. Really, Donald Trump, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and Nikki Haley doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, and in that DeSantis clip, I mean, he goes on to, like you said, not only drop out, but endorse Trump.
Donald Trump. Yeah, which is interesting based on the interaction between the two of them over the last year. But as he said, he doesn't want to go back to the old guard Republican like Nikki Haley, so he's endorsing Trump.
I wonder why he dropped out ahead of even the second
I don't know.
vote.
Especially when he said, what did he say when he left Iowa? We got our ticket punched out of Iowa.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, good. Then keep going. What are you doing? Nope, he's done.
Yeah, I wonder
Didn't even make it to New Hampshire.
Didn't make it to New Hampshire. Can we put up the, I don't know, there was a tweet from the Fox Business guy, the Gasparino tweet, because he sent this out, what was this, yesterday morning at 11:05 Central Time. So it was like noon yesterday, Eastern Time, and this is what he said. He reported this.
Breaking from the Governor Ron DeSantis camp. They tell Fox Business that with 100% certainty, they're in the race, at least through South Carolina, where they think Nikki Haley will lose at her home state, be forced to drop out, and then can go one-on-one with the real Donald Trump. They say they have the money to play the long game. Well, and then
a few hours later,
a minute later.
I know, right?
What? I don't understand that kind of stuff. Why do you tell them that, and then you drop out?
I don't know. It's very interesting. Yeah. So here's what my hunch is, and it's just a hunch. Hey, if you don't drop out before Nikki Haley, because think about this, Ron DeSantis is term limited in Florida. He's got a couple more years, and then what for him now? So I wonder if maybe there was a cabinet position offer. I don't know about the vice president thing. I have no idea about any of this. This is just me saying to myself, They must have told him that you're going to get out before Nikki Haley or there's no future for you in this administration.
Maybe.
I don't know. Just
could be.
Just what I'm thinking. I don't know.
It could be. And that's what turned him around. I don't know. The rhetoric is completely different now, obviously. There's no more Ron DeSantis or Ron DeSanctimonious.
Oh, yeah, he officially put that to bed last night.
Yeah. All of a sudden now he's a great guy. He's a great guy and he's a great governor.
I know.
It was so disingenuous. I don't like this stuff. I don't like it.
Yeah, and I guess if you weren't a Trump supporter before yesterday afternoon, Are you still the enemy? Are you still a traitor if you aren't all in 100% on Trump? I mean, I think they're saying it's time to come together, but let's not forget the way that both sides treated each other over the last several months. And I'm talking about the Republican Party. Yeah. It's just like, good luck repairing that damage.
I know. I know.
That's
why I hated the Ron DeSantis garbage in the first place. Like it was said in the article, it didn't take hold. There was never anybody saying it except him.
I know.
And B, it was just so unnecessary and uncalled for. Why are you calling him that? Why?
So, well, obviously, if you're a Democrat this morning, you have to be happy. You have to be thrilled.
Yeah, because he might not even make it to the general.
Are you talking about Trump?
Yeah.
I'm talking about you had a conservative governor who had a track record of success in his state as a governor.
And he's done.
And he's walked away. So now your options are going to be either a rhino, Democrat light, Nikki Haley, or a damaged Trump. Because, I mean, they set him up, the left did, with their liberals in government all over the nation. They set him up as a martyr with the indictments and the mugshot and all of that, and the unfairness of it all. I mean, that I'm not arguing that at all, but it served to just broaden his support in the primary.
Yeah, it sure did.
And so
it sure did. It won't do that in the general, though.
Yeah, and so
I hope people understand that.
I wonder.
He's not going to get more support in the general because of it.
What are the moods of independence? That's what you're going to need to worry about now.
Yeah.
And look, Democrats got who they wanted in 2016, and look how that worked out for him. He won. Trump won. But that was before they had the machine and all the shenanigans in 2020, and I don't know that has been repaired. 2024, it could be just like 2020 with the cheating and the chaos, and you're gonna need a bigger margin, unfortunately, to defeat Democrats. But it's not even gonna be Biden in the fall, so it's not. They're gonna put in Michelle Obama. I think you're right. I think that's what's gonna happen. If not before, definitely by the convention. Obviously, they're gonna go to Joe, and they're gonna be like, "Bro,
you got to move on. You got to go to your rest home now. It's time." Go hang out in Rehoboth. You love it there. You spend a lot of time there. Just go. And we'll take it from here. That could happen. I don't know. It could happen. But, I mean, it looks like he is fully intending to keep going indefinitely. So, before the big announcement of Ron DeSantis, Kimberly Guilfoyle had a message for DeSantis and Nikki Haley.
Okay.
We're both still in the race at this point. Here's what
this primary is really over, okay? Yeah. It's over.
Yeah,
it's done already. And you have these two selfish freaks saying in for no reason.
Two selfish
freaks.
Wow. Okay, that's ridiculous. That's asinine. We shouldn't have a choice? Really? We got a guy who won't even debate. We shouldn't have a choice? No, we should have no choice. And now we don't. Now we don't have any choice.
Yeah, and I want to know what percentage of DeSantis supporters are going to now start giving a good long look at Robert Kennedy Jr.
Wow, I hope not. Holy crap, that would be bad.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of damage done during this primary.
I don't know how you go from DeSantis to RFK Jr. Yeah. That's a pretty big leap and completely different ideology there. So don't be fooled. By all that is holy, don't do that. But I would love to hear from DeSantis supporters on what you're thinking today. 888-900-3393. If you got some thoughts on what just happened. Was it time for him to drop out? Should he have stuck it out a while longer? He said he was plenty well-funded. I mean, he supposedly had $130 million. You couldn't go through, I don't know, Super Tuesday with that?
It's political, man. It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be something deeper that we're not privy to at this point.
So, over the weekend, former President Donald Trump was campaigning in New Hampshire. He had some fun impersonating
election
Joe Biden.
interference. That's what they're doing now. He's got nothing he can run on. He always says, Donald Trump is a threat. He's a threat to democracy. That's right. That's right. MAGA. We've got to stop MAGA. What does MAGA mean, Joe? Make America great again. We got to stop Make America Great. Think of it. We've got to stop Make America Great again. But I don't do too much imitation of him because every time I do it, every single time, they have it on television, like fake NBC, fake CBS, fake ABC, ABCC. Not to mention CNN, MSDNC, and Fox. But every time I do it, if I imitate him, they show me Donald Trump spoke poorly last night. He could hardly say a word. So it's very dangerous. You know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I hardly do it anymore. Maybe I'll do it for New Hampshire. I'm desperate to get your vote. I'm desperate to get your vote. Maybe I'll do it. But I don't do it because what they do is, if I'm sarcastic or a lot of times I'll say, and President Obama is doing a lousy job, meaning that Obama's running the show. They'll say, Donald Trump doesn't know who our president is. No. Because cognitively, you know, I don't know if you saw, but a few months ago, I took a cognitive test. My doctor gave me. I said, give me a cognitive test just so we can, you know, because you know what the standards were.
Yeah, he aced it, right?
Yeah.
So we're fine.
He mixed up Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi, or vice versa, at one of his recent speeches.
Yeah, we're
going to
gonna
explain that one.
Yeah. You want to play that clip now?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we're skipping ahead here to the next one.
Okay.
The crowd, you know. By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley. You know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything, deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people.
Weird.
Okay.
That's weird, right? I know he's got Nikki Haley on the mind.
Right.
So maybe that makes sense. I don't know. And what do you mean you offered her 10,000 people? She's not in charge of the Capitol building security.
Wait.
The President of the United States is in charge and could have called up the National Guard. Nancy Pelosi had nothing to do with that.
Well, he offered it to her and she declined it.
Yeah, you don't offer it. You just send him. Why don't you just send him? He's in charge of the National Guard. If he wants to send the National Guard, he could have done that. Are you disputing that?
Yeah. I mean,
you don't turn that over to Nancy Pelosi. That's not her job. That's not her job. So what if she said no? So what?
Send him anyway.
I'm sending him. And they're going to protect the Capitol building. It's weird to me. Well, that's always been a weird defense.
To that Pelosi and Haley slip up there by him, she did address that. Haley did.
Did she?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What'd she say?
I mean, look, I think that it's one of those things that when you get, you know, my parents are up in age, and I love them dearly. But when you see them hit a certain age, there is a decline. That's a fact. Ask any doctor. There is a decline. And this is a situation where our country is very vulnerable right now. And we can't just have 4 years. We've got to have 8 years of somebody that's on it all the time. I'm worried that we're not going to have somebody that's on it 2 years from now. It's a concern, and it's what Americans should be thinking about. The other side of it is, look at the poll that came out yesterday in New Hampshire. I mean, the fact that you look at the head-to-head with Biden, we've had a bunch of them, and I beat Biden in all of them. The one yesterday in New Hampshire, it shows that Trump would lose New Hampshire by 7 points. I would win New Hampshire. I win all the swing states. He doesn't. So if you want to talk about cognitive decline, are we going to get Joe Biden again? Does that mean we're going to?
I think she's probably out as VP. He probably put that to rest over the weekend about any possibility of picking her for the nomination. Here's what he had to say.
She is not presidential timber. Now, when I say that, that probably means that she's not going to be chosen as the vice president. You know, you can go. No, you can go and you can say certain things, I don't like them and blah, 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 and this. But when you say certain things, it sort of takes them out of play, right? I can't say, she's not of the timber to be, and then say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to announce that I've picked. Do you understand? But that's the way it is, okay? Tell it like it is. Tell it like it is.
Okay.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. That was a great Joe Biden impersonation a few minutes ago. That was really good. He's good.
It's only January.
I know.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. I don't know. His speeches to me, call me crazy. They're not what they once were. I don't know what to attribute that to. I don't know. But that was not good stuff. I mean, can we just be honest? That wasn't good.
That was not.
It really wasn't good. But you had to figure the race for the Republican nomination is pretty much over. Not in favor of Donald Trump, but in favor of Nikki Haley because
why?
she got a major endorsement. Not just Judge Judy, okay? Although that's big enough. She got Judge Judy to endorse her. That plum nomination, that plum endorsement came in last week. But now she's received the endorsement of Asa Hutchinson.
Oh, snap. Definitely over now.
It's over. It's over for Donald Trump.
Asa Mentum is now
behind
Nikki camp.
Nikki Haley.
How do you stop it?
I don't know.
That
I don't think there's any way.
Barreling down the tracks now.
There's just no way.
Mm-hmm.
So after DeSantis dropped out, here's what the Trump campaign released.
Okay.
With only a few days until President Donald J. Trump's victory in New Hampshire, we're honored by the endorsement from Governor Ron DeSantis and so many other former presidential candidates. It is now time for all Republicans to rally behind President Trump to defeat crooked Joe Biden and end his disastrous presidency. Nikki Haley is the candidate of the globalists and Democrats who will do everything to stop the America First movement. From higher taxes to decimating Social Security and Medicare to open borders, she represents the views of Democrats more than the views of Republicans. It's time to choose wisely. So I agree with that on the Nikki Haley front. She sucks. 888-900-3393. Let's go to Deborah in Pennsylvania. Hey, Deborah.
Good morning.
Morning.
You asked how DeSantis supporters, or what we're thinking this morning. I can't speak for anybody else, obviously, but I'm just so angry at the whole process, the system. How do we end up here again with Trump versus Biden? I mean, this is
I know.
insanity. Even I didn't have a chance yet to listen to DeSantis' entire speech that you showed a few minutes of earlier, but so I don't know exactly what all his rationale is, but I don't understand how after one little tiny state in the middle of the country has their say,
I know.
Somehow that means the rest of us don't get one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the Constitution says at the top of it, we the people of Iowa or we the people of New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Why is it? I don't understand what's behind the way this crazy, insane, screwed up system has gotten us to this point.
It's a good point.
So, Deborah, are you on social media at all?
The first time I ever posted anything to anything remotely social was on the Blaze when I had the chance to comment.
Okay.
So but no, I'm not on.
But you've obviously seen some of the vitriol aimed at DeSantis supporters, such as yourself, from the MAGA Trump folks, right? I get most of my. How you feeling about that? Are you already ready to kiss and make up here 12 hours later?
I honestly, I don't know. I'm back to where I was in 2016. I did not vote for Trump in 2016. I did not vote for Hillary. I went third party in 2016 because I didn't know who was the worst of the pair. That's where I was then.
Yeah.
2020, I voted for Trump because the choice was obvious. There was no choice at that point. I could see that. now I'm like right back to where I was in 2016.
Nice.
Because Trump, I mean, so much has happened between 2020 and now. Trump is not the person he was. The country's not the person he was, or it was.
Right.
The world's not what it was. Nothing's like what it was. And yet we're right back with the same bad choices again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I walked the same exact path as Deborah.
It's tough.
Third party.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Deborah.
Trump. And now I'm still considering all options. I'm not going to I'm not going to let Ron DeSantis, drop out and then Donald Trump snaps his fingers and says, look, there's just me. I mean, Nikki Haley was never an option. But I was always deciding between, Trump and DeSantis. And I'm just not necessarily going to just jump on the Trump train. I mean, like she just said, it's a different man, it's a different nation, there are different issues, and there are things that haven't been addressed by Trump that absolutely need to be. And until he does that sufficiently, just speaking for myself as an American voter, I'm not on that train yet. I'm just not.
Yeah. Biden's got to be stopped. It can't be Joe
100%.
Biden. It can't be Joe Biden. And so if it's between Biden and Trump and there's some third party RFK Jr., I'm going Trump. I mean, there's just no question about that to me right now.
Trump was a bad dude.
Yeah, I can't have that guy in office another minute.
No.
Another minute longer than necessary. I mean, we already have him until January 19th of 2025. Not 1 minute more. So, for me and mine, I think I'm going Donald Trump.
Understood completely.
But let's go to Stacy in Florida. Hey, Stacy. Hi, you're on the Blaze.
Good morning.
Morning.
You're killing me. As a native Tar Heel, I'm going to give you a little bit of hope.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a little bit of hope. I think Ron dropped out because I think our good governor, I think his people may have made a deal with the Trump people.
Yeah.
Knowing there are legal issues, and if Trump is convicted on anything, that when it comes time to go to the convention, that I think he will pass along all of those electorates
to DeSantis.
Yeah.
You think that's their agreement that if he has to drop out,
it's got to be.
Yeah, I think delegates are going to DeSantis.
You remember the tweet thread that we had that said that exactly what she just said, what Stacey just said, was the reverse. It was Nikki Haley as Trump's VP.
Yeah,
and I just wonder if the DeSantis team and DeSantis himself was told,
worked out a deal.
Yeah, this is your bag now. If something, I don't know. It's
Thanks, Stacey. It will be interesting to see if he's announced as the VP candidate, then it makes complete sense. It makes total sense that he dropped out when he did, because they made a deal, obviously. You'll be the VP. 4 years from now, you'll be the guy, and you'll have the inside track.
Then you got to wonder if the hardcore DeSantis supporters will be like, screw that. Don't team up with Trump. I mean, there's so many dynamics here. It is. Yeah. It is wild.
Well, there's been a lot of damage done. It's been a serious in-party fight and vitriolic. It's not like it seems like it used to be more benign than it is now. Did John McCain supporters get really crazy about George W. Bush supporters? I don't remember that in 2000. I don't think so. There didn't seem to be this kind of infighting, this sort of passionate, I hate you as much as Democrats kind of thing, and or more. I mean, it's pretty serious right now, and there's a big divide. So we'll see if we can heal that, I guess. Kevin in Pennsylvania. Hi, you're on the Blaze.
Hi, Pat.
Hey.
Good morning. Big fan.
Thanks.
So with Ron DeSantis, I get worried. Not worried, but I kind of think it's a good thing because we'll have 4 years of Trump, hopefully, and then hopefully 8 years of DeSantis. Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that opens up the next 12 years. That would be ideal, I guess. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kevin. We'll see. but there's no guarantee. There's just no guarantee. If he is convicted on any of the 92 charges, what does that do to the election, to the general election in November? I don't know. If he's got a report for prison, is he going to be able to run a campaign from prison? Are they going to have him on ballots from prison?
Like with everything in this nation over the last 4 years, we are in uncharted territory.
For sure. Yeah, this is. You talk about unprecedented. That is the description for what's going on right now. I mean, it's possible he beats every single charge. I guess it just doesn't seem likely to me. Denise in Texas. Hi, you're on the Blaze.
Hi, gentlemen. How are you doing this morning?
Doing okay.
Listen, I was going to vote for Ron DeSantis, and I didn't really. I mean, he has a good track record and everything, but now that Trump's in the race and he's out, I'm going to vote for Trump. But you know what? A couple of things. Donald Trump's really smart. It's such a nasty business, politics.
Yep.
I think that he deliberately mentioned Nikki Haley several times to get the press, like you guys, not that you're the press, but to get people to say, no, that was Nancy Pelosi. So now he's put her in the spotlight. Now everyone's saying that's her fault. He's very smart. He's very calculated. And one more thing, have you guys ever thought about General Flynn being VP? Because that's who I think he's going to pick.
Oh, wow. Hadn't thought of that for a while, but maybe that would be a Trump-like move, actually. It really would. Thanks, Denise. Not sure I'd be terribly excited about that, but maybe. Boo in Florida. Hi, you're on the Blaze.
Hi, well, Denise kind of took my points. The clip you played, Donald Trump was talking about when he called out Obama, said Obama was running the White House, and he explained that, everybody corrected that. I feel the same thing there with Nikki Haley. The entire country, every news source came out and said that he got that wrong, that it was actually Nancy Pelosi who was in charge of J6. And so it's like, okay, well, now the blame has been shifted onto her. Second point, Roseanne Barr as White House press secretary.
Yeah, she'd be better than the one we've got now, I'll tell you that. Thanks, Boo.
It's been
appreciate
a devastation.
Yeah. So it's just some genius move on Trump's part to place the blame where it belongs.
Yeah, here is
on Nancy Pelosi.
Here's Trump's comment on choosing a VP. Okay. Follow this, y'all. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Quote, I may or may not really decide something over the next couple of months. There's no rush to that. It won't have any impact at all. The person that I think I like is a very good person, a pretty standard. I think people won't be that surprised, but I would say there's probably a 25% chance that would be that person.
Wait, what?
I read verbatim the quote, and now you can obviously decipher who Donald Trump is referring to as his running mate.
Okay, yeah, all right. So could it still be, based on what he just said there, could it be Kristi Noem?
Oh, I like that.
Could it be Kristi Noem?
The only thing I'm getting here is the person that I think I like is a very good person, a pretty standard.
Yeah, I don't know
what that means.
A pretty standard what?
Course,
a pretty standard Republican? A pretty standard conservative? A pretty standard choice?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pretty standard what?
The majority of what that
You need a noun there.
Means there.
So he didn't use one.
Hey, I got General Flynn's cell phone number. We can ask him and be like, hey, are you vice president? Can you tell us? We can do that.
He's a pretty standard.
He's pretty standard. Yeah. He's pretty standard general. All right. Well, we'll see. I guess we'll see. I think we're going to find out pretty soon because I think the race ends after tomorrow. I hope. I hope it's over because I'm done with Nikki Haley. I don't want to hear her anymore. I don't want to talk about her anymore.
Look, we found common ground, everybody.
Yeah, there we go.
Trump, DeSantis supporters.
Right?
Hashtag never Nikki.
I think we can unify on that. More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So we got New Hampshire tomorrow, and it's down to Donald Trump and Nikki Haley for Republicans. So we're kind of gauging the temperature of DeSantis supporters. 888-900-3393. Let's see. Nevada votes on February 8th. Their primary / caucus has been all screwed up. Yeah, that's a mess. South Carolina is February 23rd. Then you got Michigan on the 27th. Idaho and Missouri on March 2nd. Washington, D.C. is March 3rd.
How many Republicans are in Washington, D.C.?
12.
12?
Yeah, a total of 12. There's 12 Republicans there.
Okay.
They're going to have a good time voting, I'm sure. North Dakota is March 4th, and then Super Tuesday is March 5th, when just a buttload of states vote. Now, is it going to be a race by then? I kind of doubt it. But you got Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, and Virginia. So that's just about everybody else by March 5th. So will we even make it there with more than one candidate? I doubt it.
Oh, I thought you meant as a nation.
That's another question.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sure is.
All right, let's go to Chris in Florida. Hey, Chris, you're on the Blaze. Chris, you there?
Chris, what up?
Let's go to the other Chris in Florida on line 6.
A Glenn Beck book signing in near York, Pennsylvania, back in like the early 2000s. So it's good to talk to you again. And
you too.
I'm a DeSantis supporter, and I will not be backing Trump under any circumstances.
Okay.
I voted for him twice, but after this, I just, the way that his supporters have been unleashed on people, specifically Laura Loomer and those types that have been basically embraced by Trump and then attack DeSantis' wife as faking her cancer. They've doxed people. We call them MAG Antifa now because, it was like, I'm trying to figure out who was worse to deal with. Was it Antifa or was it MAG Antifa? And the thing is Trump completely backs this. I don't know if you've heard of the Dilly meme team and their vile memes against Casey DeSantis. And really, they just pushed a line that there will never be going back. So, I'm looking at Robert F. Kennedy Jr. People can call me a Democrat, Pat, but the thing is I'm a lifelong Republican. I voted for Bush. I voted for McCain. I voted for Romney. I voted for Trump twice. And every single time, Pat, you know this, that we have a good conservative candidate running. I remember when Glenn Beck was backing was really pushing Rick Santorum, and Glenn Beck was against Trump and was speaking truth about Trump and supporting Ted Cruz. We always had a better conservative, but then we end up with the guy that's like the worst. And then we're told by everybody and lectured by everybody, now you must back that guy. And I'm just at the point, Pat, where I'm not doing it anymore. I'm thinking of even leaving the Republican Party. But this time I'm either sitting out or I'm going to vote Robert Kennedy.
Wow. Appreciate it. Thanks, Chris. I understand that sentiment. I do. The Trump supporters can get super nasty. Of course, we've gotten some nastiness from DeSantis supporters, too. It's just both sides are just so vitriolic over this. And to me, it didn't, 20 years ago, it wasn't like this in the Republican Party. Was it? Is that just my imagination? Am I wrong on that? It seems like it wasn't like this back then. But I totally understand because I said it last week. We do this every single time. We have all kinds of great choices, and then it comes down to the worst possible choices. And Nikki Haley, that is the worst possible choice. I'm not saying Trump is the worst possible. Nikki Haley absolutely is.
Yeah.
Trump is, is he my favorite candidate? Probably not. That would have been DeSantis. I also liked Vivek. They're more conservative than Donald Trump. But I think it's too important. I will not risk my vote on a third party this time. Won't do it, especially after seeing Trump's presidency, which was good. You know, he surprised me. He pleasantly surprised me with his presidency. And so I will not take the chance that Joe Biden wins another term. Can't do it.
Trump supporters have to agree, right, that it would have been an easier November to defeat Biden or whoever the Democrats put up with DeSantis as your nominee as opposed to Trump. Is that not?
No, I don't think Trump supporters would agree with that.
You wouldn't agree with that?
I don't think so.
I mean, all right.
I don't know. But you're kind of where Chris in Florida was, right? With JFK Jr.
RFK?
RFK Jr.
Deciding between Trump and RFK?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm still leaving that door open. I've got big issues from the Trump presidency that still haven't been addressed, and things that he's saying even today.
I don't think they will be addressed by him. He's not going to address the Fauci situation.
But see, like, I agree with you on things like RFK. Don't be fooled. There's some really leftist
very
issues.
leftist.
Absolutely agree 100%. But I can support, for what is the biggest thing that we talk about with RFK? The environmental stuff, right? He's a radical environmentalist.
Yep.
He's 180 degrees from where
Abortion.
I am on that, right? And abortion.
Environmentalist.
Yeah, I think, though, he had that moment of honesty, though, in Iowa. Remember that when his campaign had to... But anyway, I'm not here to defend Robert Kennedy on abortion. But with Trump, it's like, is there ever going to be a reckoning for COVID missteps and for what the harm that the vaccine has done in Operation Warp Speed? Because that's apparently not an issue now for the Republican base. Like that, and so therefore it's probably going to happen again with a disease X or whatever that comes along the path here. But also, I don't appreciate Donald Trump wanting to build a big, beautiful building for the FBI when it needs to be dismantled and scattered to the wind. These are two issues now that RFK is better than Trump on.
Right.
It's just two right there.
And if those are make or break issues for you, then so be it. They're not for me. But
and another thing is
they're issues. That's for sure.
Donald Trump was a very big spender when he had the pen in his hand.
Yes.
Okay? Now, I'm not saying that RFK is going to go in there and be a budget hawk, but he has addressed what government spending has done to the American dollar and to the middle class. I haven't heard that from Donald Trump. And
that's not him. That's not him.
Okay, well.
That's not him.
My vote is just not going to just be rubber stamped.
Right.
It's just not. But there are just issues that I need addressed. We got a long way to go before November. I'm not in any camp right now, but I'm not closing the door either. The only door I've closed is Biden, clearly. But it's just like Trump did some very good things, but there's stuff that he didn't, like the bump stock thing, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that my main issues, that's the problem, Pat. My main issues, RFK is more aligned with me than Trump. Unfortunately. And so that's the spot that I'm in. But I don't doubt that either man, I think they both love America. And I can't say that about Joe Biden, but I think Donald Trump and Robert Kennedy love America.
Yeah, I think they do.
I think they have two different visions, but at least, I mean, that's the bar on our presidential elections now. Does the candidate love this country? That hasn't been a yes on across the board for a very long time.
Well, since 2016, certainly.
Right. Well, no, I'm saying that what I'm trying to say is, when's the last time you had a Democrat and a Republican that were running in November
and both of them
loved America? I mean,
I don't know.
You go back to 2004, Kerry.
I don't know if there's any such thing as a 2000? Democrat who loves this country.
Yeah, I think, you know what?
Quite honestly, I don't know if it exists.
Okay, so I think Bill Clinton, I think he's a very selfish individual, but you might have to go back to 96, 92.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, God.
I mean, when you look back in hindsight, I didn't think at the time he loved America necessarily.
Right.
But, you know, when you look back and you see everything that's transpired since, he was a moderate compared to what we've seen after him.
I know.
Compared to Obama and Biden, oh, my gosh.
And that's the thing people forget is, yes, Bill Clinton was a bad president.
Yeah,
but
very.
He was selfish.
Yeah.
He didn't hate the country. He wasn't trying to destroy the country.
He just wanted to do his own thing.
Right.
And get with some fat chicks. That's all I wanted.
Boy,
that's all I wanted.
There's a website for everyone.
All right. Liz in Florida. Hi, you're on the Blaze. Welcome.
Hi there, guys. Pat and Keith. I am a DeSantis supporter, and I'm going to give you a little background of why I am. And I think Keith and I have talked. I've commented quite a bit of his post. Back in 2021, I left Michigan and moved to Florida because of DeSantis COVID policies.
Oh, wow.
My son had he had really bad anxiety, and he got a bad anxiety pill and almost died then. And then my son committed suicide in 2023. This is a very personal election for me. I voted twice for Trump. In Michigan, I went to many meetings, went to bat for this guy. This primary was the most disgusting I've ever seen. And I think what I'm more disappointed in, I will say you guys were pretty fair about this primary, but there were a whole lot of people there have a whole lot of fixing to do. Yeah. And I'm telling you, there was a bad trend setting when you have Trump not debating. And now we have,
I think so too,
8-year-olds going at it.
Yeah.
If Trump wants my vote, he better earn it back. Because, like I said, this is very personal. I no longer have my son. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say. And I want to thank you guys for letting me have a chance to talk. I'm not totally out for Trump, but he's going to have to work like hell for my vote. And it's really sad. When we had a candidate, they had everything that the right has always wanted. And we're willing to go back to the same old crap again. I liked Trump the first 3 years, but what I see with his COVID and the banning the bump stocks, the guy's impulsive and he takes bad advice.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Liz. Sorry for your loss.
No kidding.
We'll be thinking and praying about you. Let's go to Paulie in Ohio. Hey, Paulie, you're on the Blaze. Welcome.
Oh, my goodness. Hi, guys. You guys are awesome and love Jeffy's laugh. Thanks. Hey, I just wanted to say one thing. Keith, I completely understand what you're saying. The Real Anthony Fauci is a phenomenal book. You really need to read that by RFK Jr.
Yeah.
I completely understand. I look at the markets this morning. China went down massively just with DeSantis pulling out yesterday. And this goes far beyond what we're talking about and, you know, what we are concerned about with regards to these individual issues. This is a global phenomenon. Trump is completely a global phenomenon. We have properties in Florida, and let me tell you, we loved DeSantis, absolutely loved him. When there was kind of a rumor going around that Trump was going to have DeSantis as a running mate, I cannot tell you how overjoyed, how completely motivated we were to get behind. And unfortunately, DeSantis got the wrong people in his ear. He could have absolutely inherited MAGA if he just would have waited. Yeah. And I'll tell you, as you know, people who are going through Hurricane Ian and aftermath, we still are battling our insurance companies, and that was a huge thing that DeSantis ran on, and a lot of people voted for him on the insurance. We're suing our insurance company because they're trying to completely get us out of money that is due to us. And let me tell you, Fort Myers and Sanibel, we saw him after DeSantis came down and brought in the National Guard, and we had all of the things immediately that we needed after Ian, right? We couldn't even get onto our island. And then, you know, that was September 28th, 2022. Then January 23, he just left. He just left. You know, we didn't have any kind of resolution with our insurance companies. He went to Iowa. A lot of Floridians feel like he was the governor of Iowa for the last, year. Trump is a force. It is not any, and I don't even say Trump. It's almost MAGA. The people who support MAGA, it's like we're taking our marching orders from this beautiful, completely optimistic, idea of America and where we are and what greatness we still have in front of us that has completely been obliterated in the last several years. COVID started. And by the way, we had to hire a lawyer so that my husband didn't have to get the jab. We are anti jab. We don't even call it what it is. It's a jab. And we're seeing our friends around us, aneurysms, heart attacks. My son in his high school has had 2 kids die last year. So we get it. And Keith, I totally get what you're saying. I completely get it. But when I see worldwide markets trend just because they're scared of MAGA returning and Trump, I think, guys, we're at this global precipice that DeSantis could have handled in 28.
Yeah. Well, appreciate it. Thanks, Paulie. I mean, I do think there's a chance that he becomes Trump's vice president anyway.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk online.
And that might work out.
That you can't have 2 candidates from the same state. There's always been this gray area with that, and that's why Cheney covered his bases and registered in Wyoming to run with Bush in 2000, so they weren't both in Texas.
Right.
So I guess you could see Trump saying, you know what, I'm going to be New Jersey, because he has a home there, so he could handle that, But there's always that
constitutionally, I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, I've read up. It's been a while since I did. There's an argument enough where it would be annoying to have to deal with,
No, there's a lot of annoying things.
Well, I'm just saying it would be easier if you're someone like Trump. You'd be like, all right, now I'm registered here.
Right.
In New Jersey.
I think he just make the switch to his main residence being in Florida, though. So I guess he could switch it back to New York or New Jersey if that was an issue. But I don't know. I kind of think the way he's been conciliatory since DeSantis ended his campaign seems like there's something afoot
definitely
for DeSantis.
Yeah.
There's some reconciliation going on there.
Something's up.
Yeah, something is up. I don't know if it's VP,
cabinet.
Maybe it's a cabinet position sometime, somewhere within his administration. I don't know, but if he's going to be out of the race, I'd love to see Trump DeSantis. That could lock it down for me. More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Got some tweets here. Amateur monger of hate tweets, DeSantis is out, but that does not mean I'm for Trump. He has to answer for giving in to deep state in 2020. Nah, he's not going to. He's not going to. Caffeinated Texan, this is exactly why I think all primaries should take place on the same day. Iowa shouldn't have the power to eliminate choices for the rest of America. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, national primary, perfect.
It's hard to argue against it. When Iowa, a state with 3 million people, decides it? Hey, come on. Iowa wasn't good enough for DeSantis, so he's out. When he said Iowa punched his ticket to keep going.
It's interesting.
What happened to that? Who's your volunteer? Tweets. How have we allowed Iowa to narrow the field this fast? One state, not very republic-like, to not allow more states to have a say. Yeah, it's a flawed process. Fury and Energy. I love we have to vote for the lesser of two evils argument. It's gone really well for us all this time. I know. OG Thor, his VP will be Nancy Mace. Perfect accompaniment for this clown show. From Morbius, Yaku Boyens mentioned the other night that he's hearing that Ben Carson is the VP pick. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Ooh,
I've heard that a couple places, actually.
I don't like that idea at all. I love Yaku Boyens. I hope he's very, very wrong on that. I'm not a fan of Ben Carson. Paper Brother Love Supreme.
There it is.
Mm-hmm. Trump and RFK Jr. have the same abortion stance now.
That's interesting. Yeah, because
I wouldn't use that as a talking point if you want to convince people on the right to vote Trump.
Yeah, because remember Trump.
Trump's not the same as RFK.
Well, he badmouthed.
He said DeSantis was too extreme. Right? Is that what you're talking about?
How many weeks is it in Florida? But yeah, he was against that. Yeah,
6 weeks. He was against that. That's true. Yeah.
And I forgot what RFK said.
I don't think RFK is.
He was in that horse stall in Iowa. I remember that. And the NBC reporter came up to him, and he set a limit on it. And that's when his campaign got a hold of that clip and was like, "Whoa, no!"
But I mean, okay, if you still like him, if he's the same on abortion, he's certainly not the same on the environment.
No.
The guy's an absolute radical. On the environment, to the point where he felt like Glenn Beck should be executed for his stand on the environment.
I would really like him to address
so
that.
would I.
So would I. Can we update that take, Robert?
Yeah, we should.
Because that was
you certainly should. Very shocking. Yeah. Let's see. We have the conserve lady. Hey, Keith. The other thing on that list. On that list that Trump needs to address is his comment, I agree. Take the guns. Take the guns first, then go to court.
Red flag laws. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah. Yep.
He speaks before he's thought through some issues. I think that's always been an issue with him. He did that on the abortion thing, too, when he said women would be arrested or whatever that was. Do you remember that?
Doctors and
doctors would be arrested, or I don't know what the deal was.
But he says stuff like this, and it makes him look further left. And then RFK says things on these topics that make him look further right. It's just insane. This 2024 is nuts.
Peekapool, the hypothetical hyper.
All right, we need a character limit. Twitter
jackal Pokemon. If the only door Keith is closing is Biden, does that mean there's a chance he'll support Big Mike?
Big Mike.
Big Mike, would you support Big Mike? If she jumps in, if they jump in.
Remind me who Big Mike is again?
Michelle Obama.
Oh, Michelle Obama. No, not a chance.
No, okay.
Is it because
so we're closing that door as well?
Closing that door as well.
We're closing the door on Democrats,
Obama,
right?
Or is it because it's Big Mike?
It's because I don't vote for people who hate America.
Oh, she hates America.
Yeah. Don't make me prove it, because I can. And we've proved it many times.
We've got the clips. We got the receipts.
You got the receipts?
Yeah.
And as we move along in the process, Dennis Miller has some advice for former President Donald Trump. Here's what he had to say.
But I'll say this to Trump. He has one way that I think he can win the presidency, and I don't think he'll take it. And that makes me think he's either not as sharp as some people think he is, or he's too stubborn to be president. He should come out and say, listen, my whole life, and especially in politics, you've heard me say, I don't apologize. And I just want to look you in the eye tonight and say, we're at a point in this country's history where some common sense things have to take over again. And along the way, have I been ground down? Them going after my wife, them going after my kids, me just naturally being a flippant guy. Yeah, I've made some mistakes, and I just want to say, in an effort to get some people out there who will never vote for me because of my arrogance, I would like to say I apologize when I've made errors. You had Ted Cruz on earlier tonight. Ted Cruz just came out and endorsed him. It's a perfect example for Trump to just circle back around and, say, you know what? I've gotten wisdom. I've gotten some humility. I made fun of this man's wife at one point. And for him to come around and endorse me for the presidency, I don't even feel I can accept that endorsement unless I go on record by saying that was wrong, what I said about your wife. I was being a smartass. When I get out in front, I'm a bad front runner. I get too arrogant. But that was a mistake, Ted. I'm humbled that you would come back around and endorse me. Until Trump does something like that, I don't think he's serious about becoming the next president. People want him to cop to some of his errors over the years, and they want him to become a little more humble and say, I really do believe this country's in trouble. Say what you will about me personally, but you have never heard me or saw me exhibit any tendencies that would make you think I did not love this country. That's the one thing he has going for him. I think people know he loves this country. But I know a lot of people who would never vote for Trump, even if his beliefs directly coincided with him, because they don't like his manner. He's got to solve that.
Good advice. He's not going to take it.
No.
But good advice.
No.
I mean, I think that would serve him well.
It would be stunning.
If he did that.
In
it
a
would
good
be
way.
Stunning in a very good way. That would win people over. But he won't do it. There's no way he'll do it. So this morning we've been talking about, of course, current president, former president, and, of course, this election that we're involved in. But over in Davos, Switzerland, the World Economic Forum is gathered, and Klaus Schwab wants us to know that the time is coming where we just won't even need to worry about pesky things like stupid elections.
Oh, good.
Why even bother?
Yeah, good. They got free up some time on the show, too.
Right. There's AI now. Don't even worry about it.
Good.
Here's what he said.
Digital technologies mainly have an analytical power. Now we go
Digital
into
technologies are
a
analytical.
predictive power, and we
now
have
they're
seen
predictive.
the first examples, and your company very much involved into it. But then the next step could be to go into a prescriptive mode, which means you do not even have to have elections anymore, because you can already predict predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result will be.
Right, exactly what he said. What do you need to do an election for? We have ways of making you talk. And
yeah, we've kind of already done that in America in 2020. We kind of already bypassed that. No, so that's interesting. So he's talking about digital technologies have gone from analytical, like, hey, look at all these demographics that are voting for this or whatever.
Predictive.
They're
now predictive.
Predictive, but
prescriptive.
Now we need to get to
we're going to prescribe who should be the leader of your country.
Boy,
now.
he would love that. And
oh my gosh!
And he's already got his way in many Western countries.
Yeah. That is crazy talk.
I feel like this guy needs this song when he speaks.
Yeah, like the emperor.
Digital technologies mainly have an analytical power. Now we go into a predictive power, and we have seen the first examples, and your company very much involved into it. But then the next step could be to go into a prescriptive mode, which means you do not even have to have elections anymore, because you can already predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result will be.
Yep.
Can't stand him.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
How old is he?
Between he and Larry Fink from BlackRock, these guys are evil bastards that are just trying to oppress all of humanity. They're not even stopping at the United States. They want it all.
He's 85. George
85.
Soros is 93.
Wow, jeez. Wow.
Get your boosters, gentlemen.
Yeah. Are they boosted? Do we know? Do we know they're fully boosted?
Oh, I'm sure.
They need some
more. They
more.
love the vaccine.
They need more.
Are you kidding
put some
me?
more into their system just to make sure that they're fully protected.
We want them to live long.
Yeah, long time.
Long time.
Sure.
Long time.
Yeah. They got a lot of terror to continue to bring down on us. Tammy in Georgia. Hi, you're on the Blaze. Welcome.
Hi, Pat.
Hi.
I watch you guys
every day. And I know some of your shows, you talk about how the Democrats have this base that they won't divide on a lot of stuff. They stay unified.
Yeah.
I really liked Ron DeSantis and what he did for Florida. And I was excited that when I thought that Donald Trump would pick him for a vice president, I thought, gosh, that's going to be a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm half deaf, so I didn't quite hear everything you were saying at the beginning of the show. But it almost sounded like you were downing on Trump. And you're the one that says the Democrats don't divide. Well, there's a time when we have to stay together, too. Whether Ron DeSantis dropped out or not,
yep,
we have to unify behind a candidate, or we're going to lose the country.
Well, I mean, that's why I said, if it comes down to Trump, Biden, I'm obviously voting for Donald Trump. He's not my favorite. He's not my first choice. But, and there are some real problems I have with Donald Trump. But I'm going to vote for him. And I'd certainly vote for him over Nikki Haley. So I think I have unified with him. It's been a tough campaign season because there's been a lot of vitriol. There's been a lot of his stuff throwing at DeSantis just because he ran like it was his birthright to run this time. And that bothered me. And it bothered me that it called him DeSanctus and DeSanctimonious and all of that. And now he's, now everything's fine. Well, okay. I guess I should just accept that and move on. But I'm going to comment on it, because that's what we do here. Appreciate it. Thanks, Tammy. We're gonna speak our mind, and I guess if you're a big Trump supporter, you can't handle that. I don't know. I don't know.
Wait, what?
Wow. But that's the way it's gonna be. So maybe this isn't the show for you if you don't like people speaking their mind. That's what we do. That's what we do here. But in the end, isn't the important thing? I am going to vote for Donald Trump if it comes down to him and Biden.
I feel like a typical Trump supporter stops listening to you when you say that last part. And that's a big problem. But I'm going to vote for him.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to say, I'm going to vote for him no matter what. And I feel like that's where we are right now.
I'm not going to vote for him no matter what. I mean, if it was, and I said many times during this campaign, it came down to three people. Came down to Vivek, Ron DeSantis, and Donald Trump. He was always part of the equation, but I really wanted to hear from him, just like Keith did. I wanted to hear from him in the debates, and I thought it was a slap in the face that he didn't debate. And because he does have things that I wanted to hear him address, like COVID, and trying to blame DeSantis for COVID, and trying to blame DeSantis for the shutdowns when it was him. But again, that's all water under the bridge now, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I guess.
For most, probably.
Yeah. All right. 888-900-3393. More of your calls coming up here in a second. Are you the same person you were? Are you the same man you were 10 years ago? Because I'm not. You wake up and you realize that you don't have the energy or the lean muscle mass that you used to have. As we age, we lose testosterone. They call that the man hormone. I call it the fire. But there is a real solution. It's the powerful testosterone booster in Nugenix Total T. Talk about it revives your energy. It powers your workout. It brings your old self back. You feel much better. Tap the brakes on the aging process. Every day that passes, you lose testosterone. That means less muscle and less energy. But hopefully you're not ready to lose your shape, your muscle, your energy. If you're ready to get old, then do nothing. But you can slow that process down with Nugenix Total T. Nugenix Total T boosts free and total testosterone to help you get the old fire back at work and in the gym. Nugenix Total T testosterone booster with Testofen. It'll help you turn back the clock, re-energize your life. Prove it to yourself risk-free. Right now, get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T when you text 231231. Enter the keyword Unleashed. Text it right now, and you'll get a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, too. The newest and most powerful fat incinerator ever, with key ingredients to help you lose fat fast and get lean fast. Absolutely free. Text 231231. Enter the keyword Unleashed. Text 231231, keyword Unleashed. Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply. Number one doctor recommended brand by primary care physicians based on an independent survey conducted by IQVIA 2023.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome, 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter, Instagram. On YouTube, it's what? Pat Gray?
Yes.
Yeah, just Pat Gray, right? YouTube.com/Pat Gray.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to Mary in Colorado. Hey, Mary, you're on the Blaze. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Hi, Pat.
Hi.
I'm a little stymied a little bit by the conversation this morning because I think, and I'm on social media a lot, that DeSantis and his campaign staff and his supporters have been just as vitriolic online and speaking out as Trump has. So I think it's on both sides, and it seems like this morning it's all about how vitriolic Trump is and how his supporters are, but DeSantis was just as bad. And so I don't think he gets to get a pass on that. And also, I loved DeSantis. I thought he was fantastic in the job that he was doing. Mm-hmm. But when he hooked up with Paul Ryan, who I think was one of the people that sidelined Trump right out of the gate with his presidency. And here you got all these Republicans who people keep saying, well, he didn't do this right and he didn't do that right. He went in there right out of the gate and said, okay, we're going to get rid of Obamacare. You guys said you wanted to get rid of it. We're going to do it. And who screwed that up?
John McCain.
The Republicans.
John McCain specifically.
And other things he was going to do, he wanted to do that we wanted, and who screwed it up? The Republicans. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, he could, and it's with Fauci, they told him this guy was the expert. He was out there as the expert in this field of virology. And so to say that he did a bad job with COVID, I understand the whole lockdown thing, but he was being advised. But then when they said they needed ventilators, he got ventilators made. When they needed more beds, he sent hospital ships. He got things done that I don't think other people would have gotten done. And I don't think it can all lay on his shoulders that, oh, he really screwed up COVID. Yes. Should he now say, you know what? I thought these vaccines were going to be the answer. And I was duped and I was misled. And so, and I'm glad he's now saying he's against any kind of mandates with these jabs. However, he went into it with good intention and people. And I get really frustrated when people say, you know, oh, he did so horrible with COVID. He got things done that he was told, we need this, we need this, we need this. Now we know all that was wrong. But he was listening to the supposed, I'm doing air quotes, experts, that he was told these are the experts.
Well, my biggest issue probably with the way Trump has acted recently is he's been trying to blame all of that on Ron DeSantis. And that's just disingenuous. It's just not what happened. You know, it wasn't Ron DeSantis shutting things down. It was him. And he blames Fauci, really, on Ron DeSantis. And don't take your issues and put them on DeSantis. You know, it was just disingenuous to me, for one thing.
And also, I just have a question, Mary. Do you appreciate Trump more for his instincts or for who he surrounds himself with?
For his instincts, for sure.
Okay, well, let's stick with that. Hold on. Let's flesh that out because we're about to hit the break here. April 12th, 2020. That is Easter Sunday. That was Easter Sunday, April 12th. If you recall, the very early moment, Trump's instincts said, let's open things up by Easter. Remember that? And then he leaned on these people that he basically abdicated the last year of his presidency to. And guess what else happened during that time? Governor Kemp in Georgia on April 8th, I just looked this up, April 8th executive order where he's basically rolling back all the COVID restrictions in the state of Georgia.
And that pissed off Trump.
That pissed off Donald Trump because that was happening before. If
he's
Trump
just
had
like Kemp ever since.
He should have stuck with his instincts and said Easter's the date, but instead he willfully handed over his presidency to these bureaucrats and these idiots like Fauci, and that's what was his ruin.
And the 15 days to flatten the curve turned into months instead. So, but, he did listen to people. You're right. He listened to the experts, the experts, and that didn't serve him well.
You should trust his instincts. I mean, that would have been better, Mary, don't you think?
Yeah.
What?
He should have trusted his instincts, right? The whole time.
Well, I think that we learn from our mistakes and that and I also feel like when we see what's happening around the world right now, I don't think DeSantis was going to have the fortitude or the positive reaction from leaders around the world. Right now, leaders around the world, they see their countries going to hell too. I think that to have Trump in here with the new guy in Argentina and we team up and we can stop this new world.
Appreciate it, Mary. We'll never know now where DeSantis would have been on the world stage, unless maybe we find out in 2028. More coming up.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
On Fox right now, they've got Judge Judy.
All right.
And Nikki Haley on because Judge Judy has endorsed Nikki Haley for president of the United States.
Look at that. I see it's a Fox News exclusive. Okay.
Are you kidding me? Who is good? Well, Judge Judy is voting Nikki Haley, so I'm going to. Not a chance. Not a chance. Wow. I seriously expect Nikki Haley to drop out as soon as she loses to Trump tomorrow in New Hampshire.
I hope so.
Bye-bye. And you might think, well, wait, she's going to hang on to South Carolina. She's behind by about 30 points in her home state. So I don't think she hangs on until South Carolina. We'll see, though.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like an eternity away now.
It does.
It's a month from tomorrow.
It does. I mean, look what DeSantis said. You punched our ticket, Iowa. You punched our ticket to keep going. And then a few days later, okay, I'm done. I'm all done.
Something's up.
Something's up. I hope it's up. I hope he's the vice president candidate. If he's on the ticket, I mean, that helps reunify the party, doesn't it? I would think so.
I think so.
Remember last week, Iran-backed terrorists launched a missile attack in Iraq. 4 civilians died. John Kirby was asked about that attack and Americans who were injured in that attack. John
What can you
Kirby.
tell us about potential injuries to American troops in Iraq, and how will the U.S. respond to this latest attack?
Well, as we understand at this early hour on Sunday morning, it's only a very small number of U.S. troops that were affected. They're being seen for traumatic brain injuries with some symptoms of concussions, but no serious physical injuries other than that. Not that that's not serious enough. Of course it is.
Yeah.
But we understand it's a small number, and it's limited to traumatic brain injuries. Obviously, we're going to do what we have to do to protect them. I mean, these attacks have to stop, and we've made that very clear.
Oh, well, they made it clear.
Well, they made it clear. They made it clear. What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want?
So hold on a second. Maybe I'm naive, but I looked this up. We have 2,500 troops still in Iraq.
Yeah, I thought we left Iraq. Interesting.
If they're not there, they can't be injured by attacks.
Right.
Okay.
Also in the region, our ally Great Britain, they had a couple of ships collide with each other a couple of days ago. I think we have that, right? We have that on video.
This is like if I was driving this thing.
Oopsies. Uh-oh.
He's going he's in reverse, by the way, and he's like, they need a rear view camera, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh,
boy.
Stop.
Oh, my. Oh, golly. Oopsie daisies. Oh, man. Hello? Is anybody hurt in that?
I don't know.
Yeah, his ego.
Yeah.
I know they're investigating.
Might want to put on the brakes there. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
There's got to be a way to say, hey, there's a ship behind us.
You need a rear view camera.
I'm sure they have one, right? They've got to have one. They've got to have a rear view camera.
Second time this has happened, I'm reading?
Wow.
Wait.
With the British?
It's the same ship!
Oh, my God.
Who is at the wheel of the HMS Chiddingfold?
Talk about British.
British name.
That's definitely British.
Chiddingfold. So I don't know. It
interesting. Same captain, I wonder?
That I don't know. This happened off the coast of Bahrain. Happened again in 2021 and then over the weekend.
And then now.
I don't see anything about injury, so that's good.
And then last week, we played the Arizona mom, Josephine Dunn, who was hoping to talk to DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas about the border and the influx of fentanyl, which killed her daughter. Here's that video. Remember this from last week.
He took an oath to defend and protect the Constitution and the American people, air, land, and sea from enemies, foreign and domestic. Ms. Dunn, do you believe he violated that oath?
Yes, sir. I flew from Arizona to meet him and face him and ask him why. And he's not here today. I did not know that until after I landed yesterday.
And he doesn't have the decency to even show up.
That is correct.
And talk to you personally.
Today is my daughter's birthday. I would have much rather been home with my poor husband grieving her. I didn't need to be here today. So whatever he's doing, I hope it's more important than that.
Let me say I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Because apparently the secretary doesn't care to show up and say that to you.
No.
Wow. Another interaction from that hearing on Friday that we wanted to play for you. Remember, this is the committee that's considering the impeachment of Mayorkas. So this was Josephine Dunn and New York Representative Dan Goldman.
Oh, boy.
I want to apologize in some ways to you that you are here really to share your story, but you're being used as a fact witness for an impeachment investigation. And obviously, given what your experience has been, you don't have the background to understand what a high crime misdemeanor is and how it relates to this. And so I hope that you're handling that okay.
This guy.
One of the things that the chairman said at the beginning of his opening statement
What
was
a condescending douchebag.
that he wishes that Democrats would turn our sympathy into action. And quite ironically said thoughts and prayers are not enough. At first, I thought we were at a gun violence hearing where we were talking about the repeated thoughts and prayers of the 2 mass shootings that happen every day. But I do want to just go through some of the actions, as the chairman pointed out, turn sympathy into action.
Okay.
Because I assume, Ms. Dunn, you would agree, would you not, that it would help to stop the fentanyl trade and fentanyl trafficking from coming into this country if we had more law enforcement officers at the border and more resources and technology to stop the fentanyl from coming in. Do you agree with that?
I disagree with that because Border Patrol is now being used to make sandwiches and to screen people and let them into our country.
Okay, well,
So I disagree with you.
Nice. Good for her.
What a
condescending.
He is.
Wow.
You don't know what a high crime and misdemeanor is.
Yeah, she doesn't have the knowledge to understand like we do. I mean, we're the elites here that are running this country. You're just a peon.
So he did that dig at her. He did the whole thoughts and prayers
over and
dig.
over.
I mean,
jeez,
that Dan Goldman guy. He is oof,
scumbag.
That's right.
Speaking of the border, the state of Texas continues to control access in and out of Shelby Park and Eagle Pass, Texas, where a lot of illegals have been entering the country. Things are ramping up between the state and the Biden administration. Check out this news report from down there.
Video today shows Texas installing even more fencing and razor wire inside Shelby Park, defying the Biden administration's deadline to reopen the property to the feds. Fox cameras captured this moment when the Texas National Guard told migrants approaching the razor wire barricade to turn around to Mexico. The United States government is suing Texas, arguing its agents need access to this 2.5-mile stretch of land around Shelby Park, especially during emergencies. Texas DPS tells Fox News that Texas kicked the feds out from this park because it thinks it can do a better job deterring migrants, claiming the Biden administration removes the state's razor wire and doesn't care about securing the border.
It's not normal. It's not humane for anyone to cross a river, including children. It really shows how the federal government is attacking Texas for trying to prevent that, because what they want to do, they want to keep the border open.
Also, a major change in procedure. Texas is now arresting migrants illegally crossing into the U.S., which Governor Abbott implemented under his emergency declaration.
That's great.
That thing's only going to get more and more escalated.
The border situation is great. Don't even worry about it. It's so good that in East Village in New York, migrants outside an East Village intake center have been using the neighborhood as an outdoor toilet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. See, look, they had the porta potties there, and the neighbors that lived there before the immigrants came and flooded the area, they used them, and they would clear them out. But now, what happened? They look at that. They just trashed them, and now they've just removed them.
Yeah.
And so the immigrants are just
pooping in the street.
Yeah.
Not a problem, is it? Is that a problem?
In between looking to make a better life?
Yeah.
They're
just here
everywhere
for a better life and to crap all over our streets because they don't give a rat's anus about the United States of America. They don't care. But we're supposed to be welcoming. They're crapping in our streets and urinating all over them and turning this neighborhood into a giant outhouse.
It's just, it's tragic.
Incredible. But welcome them. Let's be welcoming and make sure they have a really good experience while they're here, shall we? Remember last week when we played the here's a new immigrant actually to America.
Yeah, you got to see this guy
with a message for us.
By the way, if you are smart enough, you will know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're gonna know who I am. Very easy.
Wow, very easy. The entitlement.
No, believe me, I'm much better than that.
The entitlement, guys. Wow.
We'll see soon.
You're gonna know who that is really soon. So you just remember that face, y'all. I don't know.
We don't know what country he's from.
Sounds like Canada. I think Canada.
Canada? You think?
That's what I got.
Huh.
By the way,
Canada
if you are
vibes.
smart enough, you will know who I am. But you are
I'm
really
gonna
not
say
smart enough to know who I am.
Iran.
But soon you're gonna know who I am.
Afghanistan.
Very easy.
Wow, very
Iraq.
easy. The entitlement.
Yeah.
No,
He's not talking about
much better than
entitlement. He's talking
the
about
entitlement, guys. Wow.
We'll see soon.
You'll know soon, hoser. Wow. So Canada, I think, is what we landed on, right?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
You know what sucks is this administration is fine with people like that. Just
they're fine.
roaming across the border at will,
come on in.
whatever. But I heard from a listener, and I don't want to say his name here. I feel so badly for him. He was messaging me over the weekend, and he's been going back and forth trying to get his girlfriend into this country from Switzerland. Anyway, it's a long story, but she had to go back for her ailing dad, and therefore she lost her place in line for the visa and everything. It has been going on for years and years and years as they've tried to do it the right way. And finally, they had to part ways because of what this government and this administration have done to their relationship by keeping them apart. And they tried to follow the rules.
Really sad.
Just have her cross the Rio Grande, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
I mean, our friend Josephine Dunn tried for, what was it, 10 years
10
or
years,
something?
I think, yeah.
To get into the United States from Ireland. And
another person who will help this country.
Yeah.
And loves this country.
Loves the country.
No.
Begged and pleaded to get in here, and they wouldn't let him for years and years.
It's getting harder and harder to convince your children that doing the right thing is the best way to go, because where's the incentive?
Right.
Well, God's watching. I mean, that's literally all that's left.
I mean, look at this guy who's seemingly threatening a terrorist activity.
Something.
And we're letting him run in. Come on in. No problem.
You
know
got
what?
that from that?
We'll set up a court date for 2034. Make sure you pinky promise to be here, and we'll see you then.
You got it. You got it. That'll be there.
Pretty soon you'll know my name. I'll bet we will. Mm-hmm. For 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. And Glenn and the team have been great supporters of this show, which is one of the reasons I'm really proud to partner with them. Patriot Mobile offers dependable nationwide coverage, giving you the ability to access all three major networks. That means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to without funding the left. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're sending the message that you support free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, the Second Amendment, and our military and veterans, and our first responders, too. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching really easy. You can keep your number if you want, or you could change it. You can keep your phone, or you can upgrade. Their team will help you find the best plan to fit your needs. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Pat, or you could call 972-PATRIOT. You get free activation when you use the offer code PAT. Join me and make the switch today. patriotmobile.com/Pat. patriotmobile.com/Pat or 972-PATRIOT.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Oh, this is great. It's been really cold. Really cold. Pretty much nationwide.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even in Florida, I noticed that they finally got a little bit of the taste of what we've been experiencing. It went from like 75 to 54.
Whoa.
Burr.
Wow. I love it. We make fun of Florida and temperatures the way Minnesota makes fun of us.
Yeah, I know. I know. But, man, it's been cold here.
Yep.
For an extended period of time. That just doesn't normally happen. And so you think, okay, well, what is that? Mm-hmm. That obviously proves there's no global warming. Nope, just the opposite. Over the weekend, CBS explained why winter is cold.
It has been really cold in most of the country for the past week or so, and you've probably heard some people say, so much for global warming. Well, when we talk about climate change, we're talking about the planet warming over the course of many decades, not what just happens in one winter or over the course of a couple of weeks. And we do know that even on a warming planet, we're still going to have these outbreaks
Pause it for a
of
sec.
cold.
Okay, the same doesn't apply to summer, though. Keep that in mind. The same thing does not apply in summertime. When it's 106, that is unprecedented. It is unreal. It is unsustainable. None of those things can happen, okay, because it's global warming.
All right.
But in the winter... Totally explainable.
I see.
Yeah, it's don't confuse weather with climate. In the winter, that's what they'll tell us.
Okay.
In the summer, it's the opposite. Every single heat wave means global warming.
Yeah.
So don't forget that.
Yeah, but you're about to find out.
All right, but let's find out.
Global warming is.
All right, let's hear it.
Have these outbreaks of cold weather. We also know that on a warming planet, the atmosphere can hold more moisture, which means that we get extreme precipitation events, including snowfall. And we've seen a whole lot of snow
Pause it for a
falling.
second.
Wait a minute. Wait. We just went years without snowfall, measurable snowfall in the Northeast.
Right.
Did
That's
we-
right.
we-
Oh, yeah. New York had 726 days or something in a row with no snow.
So we've just been warming for the last 2 weeks then? Because he just said more snow.
Unreal.
This is
great
vomitous from start to finish.
All right, let's see more.
More moisture, which means that we get extreme precipitation events, including snowfall. And we've seen a whole lot of snow falling all over the country in the last couple of weeks.
Pause it again. Except for the fact that in the 2000s, they were telling us there wasn't going to be any more snow. You'd have to explain to your children what snow was at one time.
Right.
Oh, it's agonizing.
I'm going to vomit.
Both sides of the argument are theirs. There's just no way to win this.
We haven't even.
It doesn't matter what
We
happens.
haven't even gotten to the
Yeah,
most
okay.
ridiculous part of this video yet.
All right, there's more.
Extreme cold outbreak, though, is caused by the polar vortex dipping down from the Arctic further south into the United
Polar
States.
vortex.
And we do
Pause
know
it
that the-
again.
Wait for it.
I mean, it used to be an Arctic cold front. Now it's a polar vortex.
I'm old enough to remember when they used to call it winter.
Yeah, winter.
Yeah.
In
an
Montana,
old school term.
they'd always talk about a Canadian air, cold air from Canada is coming down again. Okay, it happens all the time. All the time.
But what's causing it?
What's causing it? The cold? I don't know. The north is
Nope.
causing it.
No, guess again.
All right.
The warmth.
Oh, wow. Let's see.
This extreme cold outbreak, though, is caused by the polar vortex dipping down from the Arctic further south into the United States. And we do know that the Arctic is warming faster than anywhere else on the planet, and that is causing a whole lot of weird weather. And there is some evidence that climate change is actually destabilizing that polar vortex, which allows all that cold air from Canada to funnel down to the U.S.
there it is.
And that could happen more often in the future. Now, that doesn't mean that the future is
Gotta
going
be
to
kidding
be
me.
colder.
Doesn't
On
really be
average,
colder.
the future will be warmer, but during winter, we still will have these extreme cold outbreaks.
Okay, so they're telling us in the winter, it's going to be cold.
What is it you always say? I guess it's getting so hot that it's
That
going
it
to
just
come back around to cold here.
That's exactly what he just said.
Precisely.
That was his explanation. I mean, do they listen to themselves?
No.
That is absolute insanity.
Yeah. So in other words,
what a joke.
Congratulations
What a hoax.
to the planet. You have heated it up so much
that you made
now,
it cold.
Now winter is cold.
But that doesn't mean it's going to be cold. Just in the winter will it be cold.
And just extreme cold.
Yeah, extreme.
This
more
guy-
cold than usual.
It's the same CBS that was telling us that the oceans, if they weren't doing their job, what would the temperature be? 2,700 degrees or something? Remember that?
It'd be 200 degrees
200.
hotter. Yeah, it would be 200 degrees. But the oceans do their job.
Yeah, see, kids.
So
Back when we were young,
they're not.
We didn't have this thing called an ocean that did its job. And oh my gosh, you guys are counting your blessings now.
I wonder if they're going to do that for the summer, because I would love for them to explain to me summer.
Yeah.
When it gets
when it gets
300 degrees here in Texas?
Does feel like 300 degrees. I can't even.
That was a good clip, though.
Stand it.
It's something else, man.
CBS is working overtime to do this global warming, climate change nonsense. Down below, on the other side of the planet, it, of course, is summertime, and the Australian Open is going on.
Oh, tennis.
And Novak Djokovic, who decided not to get the vaccine,
I see,
was hassled during one of his points.
Yeah, this is weird. Some fan yelling at him.
Yeah, listen to this.
4 match points.
Get vaccinated, yo back.
Throw your racket at him. Hit him in the head with your racket.
I can't believe that some guy's still voicing that opinion out loud.
I know. It's
in
ridiculous.
a crowd.
Ridiculous.
Okay, so he composes himself. Now he's pissed.
Get vaccinated, Novak. Shut up. A moron. And there you go.
Suck it.
That's what he's thinking.
If you're listening, there was an ace served up.
That's great.
Djokovic stuff.
Did he win the match, I suppose?
Let me check.
You
Probably.
Didn't check.
Odds are he did.
That would suck.
Odds are very good that he did.
That would suck if he would have lost that.
Yeah. Number one player in the world still. He just passed that 20-year-old kid, Alcaraz, I think, because he was number one for a while.
Oh, really?
Djokovic just passed him back up.
Do you want to play this interesting clip?
Oh, the LeBron James thing.
Yeah, his son.
Bronny James bumped his head or something.
Yeah. And by the way, he did win.
Let's check this out.
Djokovic won.
Okay. Figured.
Goes to the locker room. Everybody jumps up and hits the thing across the little ceiling here, right? Watch this. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
Dang it.
Oh, no.
Bang.
Oh.
That hurt.
If you're listening, he jumped up and basically headbutted.
Bashed his head against the wall.
Above his head there when he jumped up to do that. Oh, gosh. Is he okay? Have we heard a follow-up? Because that was the end of the game, I think, right?
He's got too much ups.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, too much ups.
He got a haircut. That's what he did.
Let's see here.
Oof.
Let's see. I don't see a follow-up, so I hope he's okay.
Yeah, hopefully he didn't get a concussion from that.
Yeah, no kidding. That is... Yikes.
All right, well...
Y'all be careful out there.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Oh, we also have overtime coming up today, and then we'll be right back here tomorrow. See you then.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.